Hello everyone. So welcome to my YouTube channel, One Stop IT Prep. So today I am going to discuss about my own interview experience and SBI as a Java developer. So like this time many aspirants who are applying for deputy manager keep pinging me like what are the questions that can be asked in the interview. So today first I will like discuss about my own interview experience, and then I will show a roadmap that things should be prepared for a Java developer's perspective. So it will be very helpful. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and don't forget to tap the bell icon so that you do not miss any upcoming videos. Okay, so let's start. So when I applied at the interview day, first document verification will happen. Like at the time of form filling, whatever certificates that you will be uploading, all you need to show them at that time. Like I applied for software development post, so in that like one certification was mentioned as advanced cloud, any certificate. So like I provided AWS cloud practitioner certification. So at the time of document verification, I also need to show that thing. And if you have any experiences, that experience certificate you need to also provide at that time. So suppose if anyone is working in first company, so naturally he will not be able to give the experience certificate, as like experience certificate we will be getting once we resign from any company. So in that case, what you can show, you can give your offer letter, your first month salary slip, and your last month salary slip, and like any of your form 16. So that will also considered as a proof that you are working in this company. Okay, so like after successful document verification, they get me in a video conference room. So interview was in video conference room. Like I am from Kolkata and my interview was in SBI Kolkata head office, but it was taken in a video conference. So in the panel there were 5 members. So first they asked me about my current project, like what type of work I am doing. So I explained them about my current project. So basically I am a Java developer, Java API developer. I develop APIs and my project was in banking domain. So after that, like they asked me like what is open API. Okay, so this open API standards means Swagger, where we are documenting our API. So that is called basically open API. What is the difference between any API and open API? Then they like ask like why do you use Spring Boot? What are some of the production ready features of Spring Boot? I also explained to them about that. Then they asked like tell me some of the basic annotations of Spring Boot that you use. Like naturally when you face this question, you should like tell at from starting from controller, then repository, configuration, bin, service. So those things I explained. Then he asked like what is the database you use, how do you integrate this database. So I tell them about the Spring Data JPA. And then he asked like how do you handle pagination. So I told them about the pagination from my experiences. Then like from another person asked one question that how do you build and deploy your project. So I also explained them about that thing. Then another person explained like what is the difference between a program and a process. Like this question was like not straightforward. I just think a little and then I told them about this thing. So my interview was total like 15 to 20 minutes. So all these questions they have asked. So like in the current uh, notification also in this Java developer is there, and for deputy manager only interview will be there. So yeah, like interview can be depend on panel to panel, but I am prepared some of the important topics that one should prepare for a Java developer perspective. So I will share this thing to you. It will be helpful, and if anyone also like planning to switch in private companies also, then also it will be helpful for you. Okay. So first thing is project architecture or like introduce yourself. So this is a very fast common question. You should expect that. And whatever things you will be telling here, most likely like next questions can come from this way. Okay. Okay. Next thing is Java 8 features. We know that currently Java 23 version has been released. Most of the like companies and projects are using Java 17. So Java 8 is the like benchmark at the days. Okay, so you should know very well about the Java 8 features like Lambda, Stream API, functional interface, optional. So these thing you should know. Okay, then you can expect question like what collection framework you used. So it can be list, set, map. Okay, anything. So in list, mostly array list we can use. Then in set we are using has set, so they can ask like how has set like maintains unicity. This question they can ask. If you say map, then they can ask the question like how hash map works internally. So this is a very important question, this you should like know. Then next thing like oops basic concepts like abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism, this thing they can ask. Then what do you mean by method overloading and what do you mean by method overriding? This is very basic question they can ask. Then you should know like how do you handle exception in Java. Basically they want to like see if you know this like try, catch, finally, throw, throws, those things. Okay. Then coming to Spring Boot, first question they can ask why do you use Spring Boot? What are the some of the production ready features of Spring Boot? This thing they can ask. Then next question like what you can expect, like what is auto configuration in Spring Boot? How do you exclude auto configuration? So basically in any Spring Boot project we are using @Spring Boot application. Okay, so it is basically combination of three things. First is @component scan, second is @configuration, and third is @auto configuration. Okay, so if you want to exclude this auto configuration, then while using this @Spring Boot application, in the parameter you could pass exclude auto configuration dot class, or in the application dot properties you can also mention the like exclusion properties for this. Then basic questions like what are the annotations in Spring Boot? Like you can explain from controller, service, repository, bean, primary, those things. Okay, then auto add component, also this thing. Then like you can expect difference between controller and REST controller. Okay, then next thing, if you are a API developer, they can ask like how do you call a REST API in Spring Boot? Mostly this call is being done via REST template configuration. Okay, then next like you can expect what are the common HTTP status codes you used. In most of the projects we are using 200, 201, 202, 400, 401, 500. So they can ask you to explain like what is mean by 202 when you will use it. So this type of thing you can expect. Then from coming to next, you should prepare like what are the different HTTP methods like get, put, post, delete, patch. These are some of the like HTTP common methods one should like learn. Okay, next thing like you can expect like what is the difference between push and post, what is the difference between like put and patch. So you can google about this thing, you will get to know about this. Okay, then one more important question like how can you handle an exception in Spring Boot? See, like I have prepared this thing in a pattern, like you are developing one API in a framework. So first from language, so I have prepared like from this Java language what you should learn. Then the framework you using, that basic part of the framework you should learn. Then what is the thing you should learn? You need to call some subsystem APIs. So REST call you should learn. Okay, next like using this REST call, that principles of REST, the HTTP status codes and HTTP methods, that you should learn. And like once you get 200, so that is a success flow. Next thing comes in the error flow. Okay, so for that purpose you should learn this, how can you handle exception in Spring Boot. So like for answering this question, you should know about the exception handler, which is a method level, and controller advice, which is at the class level annotation. So this way you can like tell them as per your experiences in Spring Boot. Next thing comes like how do you secure your APIs. So any of the APIs, like you have developed one API, so anyone can hit it, right? So how do you like restrict them from using? So it can be done by Spring Security role-based authentication, or you can use JWT token based, like any external gateway will be there. When any external user needs to use your API, they first request the gateway for an access token, and that access token they should pass in the header. So in this way you can secure your API. Next thing, you have built this thing. Now how like this thing will be promoted to an environment? So that means build and deployment. Like mostly like builds and deployments are happens via Jenkins, and in deployment in some project PCF uses, in some AWS or Azure or GCP or any cloud can be used. So those process, like in your project what is followed, that you can like tell them. Then like if you have a requirement for persisting anything, then it comes database. So you can expect question like how do you integrate database in your project. So you can like tell them about the Spring Data JPA, or like if you use your manual template using JDBC or Hibernate, that also you can tell. Okay, then like how can you write custom queries in JPA? So using @query annotation and native query equals to true, you can write your custom query. Then all you have done, but you should document your API. Here comes the Swagger or Open API part. So using those things you can like document your API, so that any person can like see your APIs from the Swagger. So like based on my expertise, I have created this as an overview. Like these are the overall things you should learn. Okay, so I think it will be helpful for you. So okay, that's all. Thank you. We'll see in the next video. Okay, thank you. Good night.